Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. New day, new interview from the playoff stage of the PGL Major in Copenhagen in the Royal Arena at the end of March. First CS2 Major in history, and as I told you, I tried to record as many interviews as possible. It's a pretty special interview that you're going to be watching today. We did already make 2 interviews with Danish players. It was Kragen, obviously, who did play at the PGL Major, and it was Krisen, who will probably end up playing a major in a couple of years, or maybe a little bit sooner even. So that leaves us with one more person to talk to from the Danish scene, a person that has played plenty of majors, a person that has won a major, a person that has won a major MVP, and a person that is up to this day the youngest player ever to win a major MVP. Ex-FaZe Clan, ex-Nord, and most of all, and most importantly, ex-Astralis. And if you want to go back in time, Dignitas and even Copenhagen Wolves player, it's Kjaerbye, someone that is a legend of the game, especially in Denmark, but even outside of Denmark, someone that will remember always for the pure skill and the insane potential that he had at such a young age. So yeah, enjoy it.
Kjaerbye, my friend, thank you for joining me. It's been great. So first things first, before I ask you about the show match, because you were able to rock the scene a little bit, rock the stage, but first CS2 Major, first major in Denmark. This one must be feeling special even though you're not playing anymore, right?
Yeah, I was happy just to be briefly on stage, even though it was a show match, because this is something I had been dreaming about since I was a kid. First of all, to play in a major. I have done that, but I have never played in a major in Denmark before. So to see the turnout here in Copenhagen, 16,000 fans, the atmosphere is amazing. And we are going to have an amazing grand final with a Danish player. So I'm just happy to be a little part of this and be here to watch the games.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, a lot of people called you out for being a sweat on stage in the show match because you kind of run over those ecstatic boys. But, you know, I guess showing them the hierarchy, so to speak, showing them who's boss. But was it special for you to just walk out in front of that crowd? Because obviously it's Copenhagen, obviously it's Denmark. Even though it's not an official game, it must be a special feeling that you have in your heart, and it kind of throws you back. Maybe we had a similar chat to Pasha yesterday, and he told us that even though he's not competing anymore, every time he steps a foot on the stage, he just feels the adrenaline rushing back. Did you get that same feeling?
Yeah, it was. It's like amazing to walk out on stage because it's gives me a lot of flashbacks to old times, and now I'm living a much different life from when I was professional top player many years ago. So, like the fact that walking out on stage, national anthem started by Kadian in the whole crowd, and him giving me a shout out in front of the crowd gave me goosebumps. So I'm just really grateful for that, and it's just amazing, and I'm really happy right now.
You did say that you're living an entirely different lifestyle compared to a couple of years ago. Can you give us a quick update on what are the most interesting things happening in Kjaerbye's life right now? What are you up to? What are your next goals that you're looking forward to?
I think the most interesting thing that has happened is the difference in my life, as we talked about. Since I didn't play pro CS for a few years, I've tried different jobs as cleaning dishes, making coffee, cleaning toilets. I know it's a meme, but different jobs to see what's outside of the world of Counter-Strike. Now I'm finally ready to be a little part of the esports scene again. I'm doing some streaming on Twitch, and then I have a completely different job working with kids at a youth club in Denmark. So I have 2 jobs, and I'm just trying to find my way in this world, right?
This is great to hear, by the way. I didn't know that. I had no idea about it, but obviously you did share that you did do a longer interview with HLTV just a couple of days ago. It's not released yet, so I guess you did give a bit of a deeper thought in there about all of that stuff. But one thing that I was really curious about, because you did some talent work last year. You were doing some analyst gigs every now and then. We know that TV2 in Denmark is quite big with, you know, hiring players and stuff like that. Have you ever considered actually doing a career as a broadcast talent, as an analyst?
As I have tried both in international broadcast and in Danish television, and I think I like being an analyst, but I like being the mixed role of broadcasting and analyzing, because I think it's nice to do a whole match as an expert, and the fact that that's much easier in Danish. I'm feeling that it would take a lot of training to be good internationally in an English analyst desk environment. I think it was really fun to try, but it's definitely something, if I was to do it, I was gonna go all in. And that's it was like fun to try, but I don't think it's like 100% like that way. Like I will not go in the direction of pimp in terms of the analyst desk, but to do it now and then and practice it a little bit would be fun, you know. Yeah.
Okay, so now I have a question that could be a little bit heavier, but one of the most interesting parts in my eyes in your career was when you left CS to actually join the army for a little bit, right? I mean, you joined the, well, you left it and you...
It was, so like I left CS and I didn't know what to do, so I wanted to join the army.
Yeah.
But I didn't get in to, because there's so high interest to go on that like 4-month training camp in the army. So like I never got in, and then was when I was like, okay, then I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I started coming in really good physical shape, and I started like making a motivation in my head of becoming a pro CS player again. And then I ended up trying that for a few months in Endpoint. Yeah.
But you did go through the training, right? It was pretty intense courses to try and get in there. So the thing that I want to focus on is making the decision to want to get into the army, right? After quitting CS, mentally, was it just that you're going through a pretty tough spot maybe in your career and life, and you wanted to experience some kind of a change, or it was something else?
I think I have definitely worked hard since I was young in terms of CS, but that was also kind of a dream of mine, so it didn't always feel like I was working that hard. But not knowing which direction I should go after quitting CS, I think I lack some discipline, I lack some purpose in my life, and I think then it's good to join the army or other kind of training where it's just like you have to do what they say. And I think I needed a break from like thinking all the time about like, okay, where am I heading? Like what job should I take? What's my new goal and dream? So that was why I was like wanting that challenge to go in the army. Yeah.
You know what? What's important, and the energy I'm getting from you right now, is that right now, at the point that you are in your life, you are happy with those decisions, and they've built you up to make you the person that you are today. And this is what matters, right? This is the main thing. But still, going back to your active years, you've been a part of some of the biggest organizations in the world, right? You played on, obviously you played on Dignitas, you played on Astralis, you're up to this date still the youngest MVP and major winner ever, which is a record that a lot of people thought Donk was going to break this time. Didn't quite happen. But is that your favorite thing when you think about your career? Like, if you had to pick a career highlight, would it be that winning moment in Atlanta, or would it be something else?
So like my youngest MVP major winner title, I think it's my biggest blessing and my biggest curse in a sense, because like achieving that in such a young age made me not able to motivate myself again. I had like achieved what I came for, and I was too young to figure out where I should go from there to keep the motivation and to like not start slacking. So I think to this day, like walking here on stage and being like getting hype from the crowd for something I did on one day 7 years ago is a bit weird. It's really nice, but I think like I'm still trying to just smile about it. I'm grateful that it happened in my life, that I won a major. I'm proud of it, you know, but it's like I'm more proud of like like the person I'm trying to become and what I like, yeah, the person I've become, because to me that is it's like it's crazy what pro athletes, esports players can achieve, but the most important thing is, of course, to like be a good person in my eyes. Yeah.
So this is the message that you would give to the younger generation of players, like the young superstars, the Dongs, the Zontixes, the people that are just getting into pro CS and are achieving great things early on.
Yeah, I would recommend them to just keep humble and make sure that you can still be yourself, like with your family. Like you don't have to act to be something you're not. Like you don't have to think like you're the king of the world at 18, even if you are really good at something. You still need to be a humble guy and be honest, and it's really important to be able to switch in and out of that role. And that's the hard part, is like all these tournaments, it's hard to relax and not having to prove yourself all the time. So yeah, that's my advice.
Okay, but in the end of the day, we are gathered here for the most prestigious Counter-Strike event. It's the best time of the year, right? Well, one of two. Now that we have two majors once again.
The best.
Yeah, it's Copenhagen, so it's the best automatically. So there is a bit of an interesting storyline coming in now. So obviously, you are an ex-FaZe player. You did play on that organization, and the final that you played in Atlanta when you won your trophy, you played against the person that's on FaZe right now. Who's Neo, right? Who's coaching? So you have a bit of a personal connection. Do you feel like you have a bit of a personal connection? Are you going to be cheering for FaZe today? Are they going to win it?
Yeah, I'm cheering for Kjaerbye in this home crowd at least. I want to see him lift the trophy. I think he deserves it. But most of all, I just hope for a competitive final, and I hope the crowd will deliver all the way through. Yeah.